April 9th, 1865, Robert E. Lee surrenders to Ulysses S. Grant, effectively ending the American Civil War. But why was Lee forced to surrender? And what makes the place where the surrender occurred so unique? By 1865, Confederate General Robert E. Lee was in dire straits, as the North's built-in advantages had been brought fully to bear. Forced to abandon the Confederate capital of Richmond, Virginia, Lee had been blocked from uniting with a Confederate force in North Carolina. With Union cavalry harassing his army at every turn, and no means of escape, Lee was out of options. He sent a message to Union General Ulysses S. Grant, indicating his willingness to surrender. As the two highest-ranking generals in their respective armies, the two men met at Appomattox courthouse. Contrary to popular belief, Lee's surrender did not happen in a courthouse. The town where it happened is in Appomattox County, Virginia, and is, in fact, called Appomattox Courthouse. This is due to a courthouse that was built there in the 1840s. A replica of the old courthouse, built in the 1960s, stands at its former location. Lee's surrender, though, took place in the home of Wilmer McLean, in McLean's parlor, in fact. McLean had moved to Appomattox Courthouse a few years earlier in hopes of getting away from the fighting. 4 years earlier, in fact, much of the First Battle of Bull Run, the first major battle of the war, occurred on McLean's farm near Manassas Junction in northern Virginia. Ironically, McLean's move to Appomattox Courthouse put him right in the middle of the war again. Essentially, the American Civil War started in McLean's front yard and ended in his front parlor. In that front parlor, Lee agreed to Grant's terms. There were still other Confederate armies out there, like General Stand Watie's army in Oklahoma, but Lee's surrender produced a domino effect. The war was, in essence, over. Less than a week after Lee's surrender, Union celebrations were replaced with mourning, as President Abraham Lincoln was assassinated. Here are other events that happened today in history. In 1626, English thinker Francis Bacon dies because of an experiment to prove that cold preserves meat. In 1776, Scotsman Adam Smith publishes The Wealth of Nations, one of history's most influential books. In 1939, more than 75,000 people attend a concert by Marian Anderson at the Lincoln Memorial. In 1940, Adolf Hitler's German forces invade Norway and Denmark, which both fall quickly. In 2005, England's Prince Charles marries his longtime mistress Camilla Parker Bowles in a civil ceremony. In 2021, riots involving Unionists and Nationalists in Northern Ireland end after 11 days. In 2024, the parents of teenage school shooter Ethan Crumbley are sentenced to prison for involuntary manslaughter. And now it's time for our Today in History quiz. American diplomat Henry Bergh, the founder of the ASPCA, was inspired to fight against cruelty to animals after witnessing workhorses being beaten in which country? Spain, Germany, Russia, or Greece? Liked learning about Lee's surrender to Grant? Then you'll love this one about when Lincoln chose Grant to lead the Union Army. Tap the screen to keep the story going on Today in History.